Shalom everybody, Shalom, Bruchim Habayim. אנחנו נתחיל ברשותכם. We're going to start. Thank you everybody for making the effort. Shalom, Shalom. Oh, very good. מצוין. אם אפשר עוד 2-3 מהמים, תקנים. תודה רבה. ברוכים הבאים לכולם. Kabbalah Cafe השבועי. Welcome to our weekly Kabbalah Cafe. Soon Sherry is coming. Sherry is sponsoring this week of the Kabbalah Cafe in memory of her husband, Kalman Nachman ben Paris Herschel. And every year she sponsors. It's very, very special. And we also want to say a special mention in honor of Shoshana. Shoshana is also going to be participating today in today's Kabbalah Cafe in memory of our dear friend Chaya Cohen. Her funeral is happening as we speak, unfortunately, in the north, and it's very, very tragic. The passing was very, very tragic. But we remember her, and this learning should be in memory of her neshama. Amen. Chaya bat Frida v'kapel. Tודה רבה. בשורות טובות שיהיו. יש משפט בארץ, כשרוצים להגיד למישהו שהוא עושה משהו ייחודי, אומרים, זה עושה שליחות. הוא עושה שליחות. אפילו לא יודע מישהו בכנסת או מישהו שעוזר למישהו לעבור את הכביש, זה משפט כזה, תודה רבה. הוא עושה שליחות. מה זה השליחות הזאת? מה זה הנושא הזה של המשפט הזה? הוא עושה חסד, מה זה הוא עושה שליחות? אז בעצם אני חושב שלקחו את זה מחב"ד. בחב"ד יש ברוך השם מעל 5,000 שליחים בעולם, וזה נותן לאנשים את התחושה שכשאתה עושה דבר טוב זה שליחות. In Israel, when you try to compliment somebody, you say, oh, this guy or this woman is doing a shlichut, is doing a special mission. Even someone that's a mayor or someone that does community service, you say that he's doing shlichut. Really, shlichut means an emissary work. What kind of emissary work is the person doing? Just say the guy is doing a kind work, the person's doing good chesed, good stuff. What's this quote-unquote terminology of shlichut? I think that it comes from Chabad. And so in Chabad we have Baruch Hashem over 5,000 couples that are all around the world and are doing a mitzvah of being there for every single Jew, no matter where they're from, what their background is like. And we call it a Shaliach because the Rabbi is the Shaliach. He sends, and people that are the Shlichim, the families that go out to all different places of the world, were the Shaliach. And so it became a semel, it became a sign of selflessness, of being an emissary. So therefore, other people that are doing different types of chesed, it's also called, oh, this guy does shlichut. The reason why I mention this is because, as I wrote in the message, I think this is very important when it comes to how we view our mission in this world. Shaliach, the ultimate Shaliach, is Hashem. Hashem is the one who sends our neshama down here, that we can have the zechut, the privilege of doing good work. Now, the good work can be a mitzvah for ourselves. A good work can be helping someone else do a mitzvah, teaching Torah, and the good work can be just helping someone chesed. So, what I'm going to try to bring out today is how can we bring out our shlichut in this world? Because at the end of the day, every Jew, in a sense, is a shaliach. מה קרה בפרשה שלנו? יש 12 אנשים שנסעו, שמשה רבינו שלח אותם לארץ ישראל, וזה שם הפרשה. אז פתאום עם ישראל אמרו משהו מוזר, הם באו להיכנס לארץ ישראל, ממש אותו, באו להיכנס, פתאום אמרו אנחנו רוצים לשלוח שליחים, לראות האם זה טוב. למה אתה צריך לראות? משה רבינו, הוא לא מספיק טוב, הוא בעצמו אמר, הקדוש ברוך הוא אמר זה מקום טוב, למה צריך שליח? אז משה רבינו שאל את השם, נו, מה אתה אומר? הוא אומר, שלח לך אנשים. שלח, תחשוב טוב אם אתה רוצה. אני כבר אמרתי לכם שזה טוב. אם אתה חושב שזה... הפוך הגדול. הפוך על הפוך. יופי. אם אתה חושב שזה חשוב, אז תעשה את זה. אבל אנחנו שמים לב משהו נורא והיום. שהכי בכירים בעם ישראל עשו טעות בחייהם. זה פלא. לפחות היו יודעים שהם אלו, שהם הנציגים של עם ישראל, וידעו לא להגיד לשון הרע על ארץ ישראל. לא צריך להיות חכם גדול. לא רק 10 מרגלים שעשו טעות, גם השניים שהיו צדיקים, גם הם היו צריכים סייעתא דשמיא מיוחדת כדי לשמור על ההתייחסות שלהם למשה רבינו. יהושע, משה רבינו התפלל עליו, תפילה מיוחדת, י"ק, יושיעך מעצת המרגלים. וכלב היה צריך לנסוע לחברון ולהתפלל על קברי אבות. מה קרה פה? ואני חושב שאם אנחנו נסתכל על התמונה פה, על הסיפור, אנחנו נלמד מזה לשליחות שלנו. Something very strange happened when it came to this sending, in the parasha, sending the spies into Israel. Hashem says, I told you already that it's a good place. Israel is good. Why do you have to send spies? But Moshe, he told Moshe, Shlach lecha l'da'atcha. If you think, for your own knowledge, if you think you need to do it, fine, I support you. You don't have to. It's like a gray area. Usually Hashem said, you do this, you do that. Here, I'm giving you permission, if you want. But what's the strange thing over here? The strange thing is that we have 12 of the greatest people of that time. They were the princes, the Nesiim of the Shvatim, of the tribes. So you would think that they would be focused. And they would say, you give them a job, they're not going to come and speak bad about Eretz Yisrael, God forbid. What do we see? Not only did the 10 tribes who did bad, they spoke Lashon Hara about Eretz Yisrael, but the two tzaddikim, Yehoshua ben Nun and Caleb ben Yefuneh, they also wasn't so simple. What do I mean it wasn't so simple? They were good. I'm not chas v'shalom saying they weren't good. All I'm saying is that even Moshe Rabbeinu realized that he has to give them a special siyata d'shmaya, a special bracha. He added one letter Yud onto Yud. His name was Hoshea, and all of a sudden he became Yehoshua. Vayikra Moshe Hoshea ben Nun Yehoshua. What happens when you take Yehoshua, take the Yud and the Hey, which is Hashem's name? That's we don't say it. We just say we change the letter a little bit. Yoshiacha should save you. So Moshe realized that we're talking over here about a very risky mission over here. We're sending the spies, but we're not even sure that Yehoshua ben Nun himself is going to do a good job. He might be snatched by the plot of his other 10 colleagues. So Moshe Rabbeinu realized, oh boy, I have to give a special tefillah for him. Who would ever dream that Yehoshua ben Nun should have an extra special bracha? And the same is with Caleb. Caleb, they're going around, they're walking around Eretz Yisrael, And in Kalin, they walk by Chavron, not far from here, and he says, one second, I have to go and to say a tefillah by the Marat Machpelah, Avraham, the Sarah, Yitzchak, Rivka, Yaakov, Leah, and to ask for a special tefillah that the tzaddikim should say a tefillah on my behalf. Why? What was the test, the risk over here? Why shouldn't it be so simple and straightforward? A, not to have to send any spies. Just trust Moshe. Trust Hashem. And even if you have to send a spy, big deal. He goes there, he sees some big fruit. Big deal. And the world didn't turn over. All of a sudden we're scaring everyone. Oy v'avoy. We can't have over here. We can't go into Eretz Yisrael. We'd rather stay in the Bamidbar. This is nuts. We'd rather go back to Mitzrayim. It was a short time after they came out of Mitzrayim. You want to go back to Mitzrayim? What do you mean? They forgot what happened over there? The slave labor? It doesn't make any sense. Shalom Sherry, we mentioned already, I want to mention again that we thank Sherry for sponsoring and dedicating this special shiur in loving memory of Kalman Nachman ben Peretz Herschel. Tonight's his yahrzeit. You should only have good news in our community and in Am Yisrael in general. Straight.
I have a question. Shlach lecha, the meaning of lecha is avurcha because you cannot enter Eretz HaKodesh, and so you send the people.
אפילו שהוא לא ידע אז שהוא לא ילך להיכנס לארץ ישראל. אבל השם רמז לו, שאלה טובה. מעניין, מרתק. So in summary of what we've been saying until now, in summary of what we're saying now, in connection with the subject of Shlach, Shlichut, that everybody has a mission, and if we want to know how can we do our mission properly, the best way is to realize, to see a similar scenario. History repeats itself. Moshe Rabbeinu sent shlichim, emissaries to Eretz Yisrael, and they messed up. Unfortunately, they messed up big time. So how can we learn from that in our life? How can we learn from that to our own shlichut in our lives?
What did they do that was so wrong?
Yafeh. That's exactly what we're going to get at. Yafeh Mo. My Masulo Tov. Great question. As yesh kama nukudot she'anachnu rotzim la'archiv. Let's talk about what did they do? Great question, Marie. They came back and they said, here's the fruit. Look for yourself. You want to go to such a... So the main thing which we learned, which was wrong, was that Moshe Rabbeinu told them, "Uri'iten et haaretz mahi." Ma bikesh mehem Moshe Rabbeinu? Hu bikesh mehem l'staken? Mahi lo la'achlit. איזה דרך אפשר להיכנס? מה הם, איך הם אנשים, גבוהים, קטנים, ערים בצורות, אם יש פירות, איזה דרך. אבל מה הם אמרו? לא נוכל לעלות. אף אחד לא ביקש מכם להגיד פסק, לא נוכל לעלות. אתם הייתם צריכים רק להגיד את העובדות. מה נמצא בשטח בארץ ישראל. אנחנו כבר נחליט, משה רבנו אני כבר נחליט. מה? הוא ביקש מהם. בסדר, אז היו צריכים להגיד את הרפורט, את הדוח. ביקשת מאיתנו להגיד, ואת העם היושב עלה, החזק הוא הרפה, המעט הוא עם רב, אין בעיה. אני אגיד לכם, וואו, ענקים בשמיים, גדולים, גבוהים, מפחידים, איך אנחנו יכולים חס ושלום להיכנס לארץ ישראל? אומר? אז אנחנו נחליט. הקדוש ברוך הוא לא יכול לשמור עלינו עם ענקים? מה פתאום? אתם תגידו. אבל מזה אנחנו לומדים איך אנחנו צריכים להסתכל על ציווי בסגנון אחר, בשליחות שהשם נותן לנו. השם נותן לנו תפקיד כל רגע של היום, כל יום, כל חודש, בעזרת השם לא רחמים משנים טובות ובריאות. ואנחנו צריכים לחשוב בכל רגע מה עליי לעשות ברגע זה. מה השליחות שלי שאני יכול למקסם את השליחות שלי בעולם הזה במקסימום. עכשיו, אני לא קובע, הקדוש ברוך הוא קובע. לא תמיד אנחנו יודעים בדיוק מה השליחות. אבל בדרך כלל, רואים מה אפשר לעשות עכשיו, בדרך כלל אפשר להחליט כזה או כזה. בכל, איך כתוב בתהילים? מהשם מצעדי גבר קוננו. הקדוש ברוך הוא מכין לנו, מדריך אותנו, מכוון אותנו, איך לעשות בכל מצב. אנחנו לא יכולים חס ושלום להחליט, או עכשיו אני לא מסכים עם חס ושלום משהו של קדושה, אני רוצה לעשות משהו אחר. צריכים כל הזמן להיות מרוכזים. The main problem with the Meraglim, the spies, was that the mission was, what was the job they were given? They were given a tafkid, a mission, to find out what is happening. Right in the first aliyah, we'll read it tomorrow. Find out what kind of nations are they? Big people, small people, many or few? Is there a big, what's the word again? The big wall around the a fortified city or not? It shows if they're scared or if they're very confident with themselves. But that, to find out kind of fruit, tell us what is going on there. Moshe never asked them to give a decision and say a ruling. We can or we cannot. What did they say? They came back with fruit. Akol tov v'yafeh. It's all wonderful. But they said the words Lo nuchal la'alot. We cannot. Those 3, 4, 5 words. That's where they went down the slippery slope, and that's where the no. That's where they were not allowed to go. And it seems to us big deal. So they said another 5 words. We cannot. They made a decision. But this is fundamental in carrying out a mission. We have a rule in halakha, the Gemara says in the Shulchan Aruch, that shlucho shel adam kemoto. A shaliach of a person is like him. It's a real halakha. If chas v'shalom, now they're let's take a positive case. According to the halakha, a man is allowed to send a shaliach, a messenger, especially in the olden days when travel was much more difficult. He could send the ring, the kadesh isha, to marry a woman on the other side of the world, and it's considered as if the husband did it. There are some things which are only the person himself can, nobody else. For example, eating. Someone else can't eat for you. And there are some things in mitzvot as well. But it's a very powerful thing that it works in halakha. Some parts of the Torah are medrash. Mashal, remazim, midrashim, and are not necessarily literal. But when you have the halakha says so. So I guess there's also other interpretations that you can expand upon. But l'chol harosh, first and foremost, it's the simple meaning. It's the halakha. And so from the fact that it's not just a spiritual thing, a spiritual concept that could also do something for someone else, but it's a real hardcore thing that gets in the Shaliach. Why is that? Why do we say that a person can appoint someone else to be his Shaliach, to be his emissary? Because at the end of the day, we are all one. We are all commanded to do the mitzvot of Hashem. And of course, sometimes one person has the ability. Tonight is Kiddush. One person says Kiddush, and it's as if everybody said Kiddush. It's a mitzvah, the Kadesh, to say the Kiddush. But it's as if everybody did the Kiddush. Why? Because Kol Yisroel arevim zeh b'zeh. It's a beautiful message. We are all responsible for each other. And so if one person does it, it's almost as if, of course, you have to hear the bracha, to say amen. In each halakha, it has its own guidelines. But in the general picture, it's it's a very special thing. That you can have one person makes another person a Shaliach, an emissary to do something, and it's considered if the person did it. Now, the Gemara discusses what happens if the Shaliach messed up. He did not do like the Shaliach, like the sender told him to do. That's it. He messed up. He already deviated from the goal, from the mission. You want to be a you want to be a Shaliach? No problem. But you have to stick to the guidelines. You have to stick to the instructions. And sometimes, if you mess up, there's a little mistake and there's a big mistake. In this case, the Meraglim and spies, they made a huge, not a big mistake, they made a huge mistake. That they decided for Moshe, what a chutzpah. Hem echlitu Moshe Rabbeinu l'Kadosh Baruch Hu ma lasot. What kind? Where'd they get that chutzpah from to make a decision on behalf of all of Am Yisroel? Because they missed the boat, and Am Yisroel unfortunately believed them. They started to cry. Hashem says, you're crying tonight? That was Tisha B'Av. I'll make you cry. Hashem Yerachem. Unfortunately. It's very, very unfortunate. Ken, b'kasha.
למה משה רבנו לא נחשב לו שהוא חטא גם?
למה?
וכאילו, שליחותו של אדם כמותו.
לא, זה העוול זה על השליח, לא על המשלח.
המשלח?
המשלח הוא בסדר, זו שאלה טובה.
מה זה היה?
זה לא...
אם לחתונה וכל זה, שהוא יכול לשלוח מישהו לקדש וכל זה.
אם גבר שולח שליח לקדש אישה...
אבל זה שלו.
דברים טובים כן.
לא, זה שלו.
אבל השליחות היא רק לדברים שהם חוקיים, שהם טובים. דבר שלא חוקי, אז זה לא כשליחות. דבר שהוא לא...
אם השליח לקדש עשה טעות, למשל, הוא קידש את האישה הלא נכונה, או עוד בעיות נוראיות.
אז זה לא מצווה.
המשלח לא אשם?
הוא לא אשם, פשוט הקידוש הם לא חלים. הקידוש הם לא חלים, זה לא שהוא עשה משהו רע, אי אפשר להאשים אותו, אבל...
כאילו משה...
לא אשם, הוא עשה... כן, נכון. בפרט שהקדוש ברוך הוא נתן לו אישור, שלח לך לדעתך, בסדר. נתת לי רשות, אני החלטתי כן לשלוח. Now I would like to take this to another point. This is a very, very interesting point. I started off by saying about the shlichut of Chabad, because you can have shlichut in many different areas, in many different points. But נכון, גם של הסוכנות היהודית, השליחים של מדינת ישראל, נכון, יפה. So,
I looked at Chabad in Yerushalayim, and there are 17 entries.
Online? Which one's the first one? True. Thank you. היא אמרה שהיא חיפשה באינטרנט חב"ד ירושלים ממצא 17. יש ברוך השם מעל 60 שלוחים. מעל 30 בתי חב"ד? מעל 60. שאלתי אותה מי הראשון שעולה בגוגל? חב"ד רחביה. ברוך השם. נכון, ברוך השם. אנחנו בדיוק דיברנו, we spoke yesterday about the online. את צודקת, כתוב בית חב"ד, על הדלת כתוב בית חב"ד, אבל זה סגנון קצת שונה, אבל כן, זה בהחלט בבקשה. Here we have a seat for you, we have a place for you. Here's a seat right over here. So, אני רוצה לנגוע בנקודה הזאת. This is a very interesting point about shlichut in Chabad, that in a sense, it's more than any other type of shlichut, and I think it's very important because this is connected with the point that we're trying to bring up. יש אנשים ששואלים, איך זה שהרבי שולח שליחים במקומות מאוד רחוקים?
ומסוכנים.
אני מדבר מבחינה רוחנית. זה גם מסוכן. כן.
גם
נידחים.
הרי כששליח ואשתו, ושליחה, נוסעים ביחד, וברוך השם יש ילדים, צריך חינוך, צריך כשרות. מי לוקח את האחריות שיגדלו להיות יראי שמיים? יש הלכה, הרמב"ם כותב, שאדם צריך לגור במקום, בעיר, בשכונה, שיש תשתית של יהדות, של קהילה. צריך גם מישהו שמתגייר. בתקופת הגיור צריך לחוות את ההוויה.
יש גם איסור.
אווירה.
יש גם איסור שלא לשבת במקום שאין בו חכם.
נכון.
יש איסור כזה.
נכון. זה שאלה מאוד חזקה.
עבר למקום שיש בו מעיינות, ואחרי זה הוא שכח את התורה בגלל זה.
זה לא פשוט.
כן, הוא היה בלימוד תורה, ואשתו שכנעה אותו ללכת למקום של המים, ואז הוא הלך לשם ועזב את החבורה, ואז הוא שכח. זה מופיע בגמרא.
מאיפה יש לנו את הגב לשלוח שלכם? זה באמת שאלה מאוד 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 גדולה, והתשובה היא עוד יותר טובה מהשאלה. כן, בעזרת השם, בעזרת השם. People ask, how could you send, about the Rabbi, how could you send shlichim, a young family, a husband and wife, little children, many places there's no chinuch education, no kashrut, everything is homemade, like most preschool, we're starting a preschool B'ezrat Hashem in a month or two. So in many places it starts with the Mendel and the Mushki that are 1.5 and 2.5, and within a few years it grows up. They used to say that there's Batei Chabad and even in Thailand. Today they say there's Batei Chabad even in Yerushalayim.
Even kosher restaurants.
Even Baruch Hashem. Don't worry, every place has their challenges. Baruch Hashem. Some place the challenge is the chinuch and the kashrut. Some places there's other challenges. Whatever. We won't get into that right now. Baruch Hashem. Oh, הייתי צריך להרחיב על השאלה שזה יהיה עסיסי. And so, how do we understand that we allow the Rebbe allows that shluchim should go to the furthest places in the world? It's unbelievable. Mesirat nefesh. Before I knew I'm going to be one day a Shaliach. I didn't know where. I didn't dream. That's a story for itself, by the way. When my wife and I got married, we lived in Ramat Beit Shemesh, and Shoshi worked over there in worked in Ramat Beit Shemesh, and I used to come in to learn in the old city. I was sure I'm going to be a shliach, who knows where, in some town in the world, and I learned in the old city, Yerushalayim. So I used to walk. I used to go to Geula with a bus, an hour and a half hour from Geula every day. I walked into the old city and it was unbelievable. I didn't know that in 8 years I'm going to be the shliach over here just down the road. An amazing story, and the story goes on. But the point that I'm trying to bring out is that I knew that I'm going to be a shaliach over there. And even as a young bachur, as a child, I knew I was going to be a shaliach. But when I was a bachur, I used to go around. I went to very exotic places to get to know. Every place has their own unique style and clientele. It's amazing. Truly, I had this zechut to open up the Beit Chabad in Florence, Italy. Till today there's a shliach there, full-time shliach. That was 25, actually right now, it's exactly 25 years ago. Wow, amazing. 25 years ago, it's truly amazing. I'm humbled. I was there for 2 weeks. The day we came there, we opened the Chabad house, and then they continued the activity. We had to go back to France to my yeshiva, and then within a couple of years, there's a full-time shaliach, Rabbi Vavovsky. So shaliach there. If you watch Rabbi Vavovsky, regards, kol hakavod, thumbs up. He comes here, and so it's a big responsibility to go out there and send a young family out into the spiritual wilderness. Go and succeed. And the Rambam says that a person is supposed to live in a Jewish environment, in a city, in a neighborhood, which has the infrastructure of Torah and holiness. It's a very big risk that a person relies on themselves, because we're human beings and we have temptations, and we have to be able to have a strong matefet, a strong embrace of kehillah and congregation, in which we each support each other. So I'm going to answer this with a mashal. אני אגיד משל וזה יהיה התשובה. מישהו רצה לחמם אמבטיה גדולה של מים. אז אמרו לו, אל תשים, אני לא מדבר על הסיכון של אני לא מדבר על הסוף, את הקומקום בתוך, אני לא מדבר עכשיו על הסיכון שבזה, על החשמל. כי הוא אמר שזו אמבטיה גדולה של מים קרים, אז הקומקום החם מתקרר. פתאום מה קרה? רואים שהמים, האמבטיה מתחיל להתחמם. מה התשובה? מתי אומרים שהאמבטיה מקררת את הקומקום? רק כשלא מחובר. אבל אם הוא מחובר למקור, אז לא רק שהוא לא מתקרר, אלא גם מחנכים. וזה הנושא של השליחות. השליחות זה להיות מחוברים למקור. והמקור זה הרבי שהוא המשלח, וזה מתחבר למה שאמרנו לפני כן על יהושע ומשה רבנו. נכון? זה מתחבר שלא חס ושלום, רבה שהגעת. זה לא חס ושלום שמישהו אחר הוא לא מחובר. כל אחד, כל יהודי מחובר, וכל יהודי יש לו את השליחות שלו. אבל יש משהו מיוחד, אני מאוד שמח שהעלית את זה, משה. זה ממש מתחבר לנקודה הזאת. אבל יש קשר בין רבי וחסיד, שהקשר הזה הוא כל כך חזק וכל כך עוצמתי, שלא רק שהמשפחה הצעירה עם המנדל הקטן והמושקי הקטנה לא חס ושלום מתקררים, אלא גם פתאום הילדים הקטנים מתחילים להשתתף. ברוך השם.
מה של הגולדברג?
תודה רבה.
איפה מושקי הולכת לחופש?
לשליחות?
ולא רק במקום אחד, זה לא enough.
אני שמח שהיא דיווחה לך את כל האיטינררי שלה.
אבל כן. מה זה? סתם, בעיקר לא צריך
little plug.
משהו, אם מרצים ציפורניים, היא משהו. היא צריכה את הכסף.
She's showing off my daughter. She said that my daughter is going in the summer to a few programs in the Chutzlaret.
And she needs money for a great job. I switched, and she's reasonable, and she's a doctor.
Anyways, back to what we were saying before the brief commercial break. It's okay, it's part of it, I know. It's part of it. It's simcha and yafeh. Okay, good.
You really like it.
And so, you have a large bath of cold water. And the person said, even if you put in a hot kettle, it's not the kettle is not only not going to warm up the bath, it's going to be cooled off because there's so much more cold water. All of a sudden they put in the kettle, and you see that the whole bath is becoming warm, becoming heated. Don't try this at home. They asked why. They realized, when do we say that the kettle can be cooled off? Only if it's not plugged in to the source. But if it's plugged in, not only, don't try it. We're not getting into that right now. It's all in theory. Not only does it not get cooled off, but all of a sudden it starts to spread, the heat, the warmth starts to spread. That's exactly like the shlichim that go to a cold place, spiritually, and all of a sudden, not only that Baruch Hashem Yishtabach Shemolad, that nothing happens to the family of the shlichim, but all of a sudden there's another family sending their children to a Jewish chinuch, Torah chinuch. All of a sudden you see more families that are kosher in their kitchen. Baruch Hashem, we have a group of guys that whenever someone asks us to kosher their kitchen, we send them and they do an amazing job. Actually, all of a sudden there's another family who start coming to shul and start doing mitzvot. And even more, here's the chidush. In halacha we say, Tofeach al manat latfiach. If you want to see if something is really, really wet, water is a good example. I don't want to make a messy. Is there a napkin or something? Just a plate. You finish it. Here, thank you. So let's say I want to. I made my finger wet, and then I touch the table. So now the table is also wet. That means that my finger was so wet that it can even inspire someone else. That's called nalacha. Tofeach al manat latfiach. Sometimes it's only a little moist. But for example, now it's a drop moisty. Look over here. There's nothing. My finger is a drop wet, but it didn't have any effect on that part of the table. Why? Because if you're so connected, so to speak, B'ezrat Hashem, you have a koach to be able to inspire other people, not to keep it for yourself, but to share the warmth in the case of the kettle, in the case of the Torah, something that you learned, a mitzvah, something you want to share, you go in the street, you think about it, you share it with someone else. So that's Shabbat. Either if you have guests over or you're a guest by someone else, you can share a beautiful concept what you learned. That's exactly what it means to be a Shaliach. So it's such a beautiful concept. Shlach lecha לדעתך. אם אנחנו נסכם את הנושא, כן.
אבל הרב, בכל זאת בזכות ההורים, אבל בכל זאת חשב את החינוך, צריך את הכל שבת.
אז יש את החינוך.
לא, אבל אין את המקורות.
יש את החינוך.
אין את הבית ספר.
יש את החינוך. לפני הקורונה, עוד לפני הקורונה, הבית ספר ושלוחים, זה נקרא שלוחים נקודה נט, הם עשו בית ספר על רמה הרבה יותר גבוהה ממה שרוב האנשים עשו בזמן הקורונה. זה עוד שנים, אולי 6-7 שנים לפני הקורונה, ושליחי חב"ד בכל העולם, יש לנו בכל השפות, לומדים במחשב, אבל מרגישים כאילו שהם בתוך חדר, ממש חדר לימוד, רואים את עצמם, פעם בשנה נוסעים לקרנייץ, פוגשים את כל החברים שלהם, עכשיו בעוד שבועיים, בשבוע הבא, בעוד שבועיים, אתמול יהיה יורצייט של הרבי, ואז כולם עושים כנס, זה ממש מרגש, פשוט מכל העולם שליחים קטנים, הרבי אמר שזה לא ילדים של השלוחים, הם בעצמם שליחים, זה החידוש, הם בעצמם פועלים להביא את החום של היהדות בכל העולם. אז זאת אומרת שיש לנו מושג כזה של שלוחו של אדם כמותו ממש, שזה בעזרת השם מביאים את האור של תורת הרבי וההסתכלות החיובית על כל דבר בעולם, להביא את זה לכמה שיותר אנשים, וזה מה שאנחנו יכולים ללמוד מפרשת שלח. כל אחד מאיתנו, לא משנה אם זה שליח רשמי של הרבי בבית חב"ד, או כל אחד יכול לעשות שליחות במצוות של הקדוש ברוך הוא, איך אמר הרבי פעם, מישהו אמר, אני לא חב"דניק, אני לא לבוש כמו חב"דניק, אני לא... הרבי אמר, אם אתה קם כל בוקר ושואל את עצמך, איך אני יכול להשפיע טוב על יהודי אחר, אתה חב"דניק. איך אני יכול להתקדם? איך אני יכול לעשות? אז זה לא לפי המראה החיצוני. So in summary, we have over here a very special message of how to view ourselves in the global picture or in the puzzle of that Hashem made in the world. We have a choice, we have a chance, an opportunity to carry out our own mission. It doesn't matter if you're an official Shaliach of Chabad, and opening a Chabad center in a city or in a neighborhood or in a place in the world. That's good, it's special. But each and every one of us can also develop and and activate in our own lives, that we can also be a shliach, we can also be a shlicha, we can also do this connect to it on both on a Jewish level and on the Kadosh Baruch Hu. That Kadosh Baruch Hu gave us mitzvot. When we do a mitzvah to help other people, we share the knowledge that we know with other people that we come in contact with. We learned a nice Dvar Torah, so if you have guests over, you can share it with them. If you are a guest by someone else's home, you can share with them a nice Dvar Torah. That's also shlichut. And also, especially when it comes to Chabad, and we have this zechut that in some way or other we are connected to Chabad. That means that we have the obligation and the zechut, the privilege, to share the amazing teachings that we learn from the Rabbi, and also not only the teachings but also the way of life, how to look at another person, how to look at life, how to look at our own selves. And this B'ezrat Hashem will be the best way to carry out our own shlichut and to feel real meaning, real mashma'ut, real quality of life. B'ezrat Hashem, many happy healthy years. I just want to mention again that you want to say a few words in memory of Kalman Nachman?
In memory of Kalman Nachman. Anybody here diabetic? No diabetics? Good. My husband, Alav Shalom, besides him like being in the center with the kids and everything like that, he was the candy man in shul. All right, so
in our shul too.
So I carried on.
Your husband was the candy man in shul.
The guy that all the little kids come to, as long as they come to shul, they go to the candy man and they get a sukaria and they get a little candy.
The only way I let the candy man give my kids candies, I have an open check for the dentist.
We get cards. We also do that cards. Not fun. So I carried on the tradition. I tried to carry on the tradition, and now I'm the candy lady. So everybody
מחלקת סוכריות. בעלה, עליו השלום, היה מחלקת בית כנסת לילדים. היא ממשיכה את המורשת. אמרתי לה, רק אם מביאים צ'ק פתוח לרופא שיניים. ואז היא יכולה לחלק לילדים.
Kosher, badats, paru, thank you.
Shikon, thank you very much. You can have a double one for me too.
No, Zaya בספסל של הבד"ץ. The Rabbanut is over there.
That's the Haredi.
Right.
Chaim, thank you very much. I want to say a special Chaim to Mordechai and Raya. B'ezrat Hashem, this video is going to be number 993 on our YouTube channel. Next week, B'ezrat Hashem, Shavua Haba, אנחנו משלימים another 10 days. We're completing 1,000 videos on our YouTube channel. And we're going to have a big event on the Rebbe's yard site Thursday night at Yisroel, in 2 weeks from last night. You'll see the flyers B'ezrat Hashem next week. And we have two amazing people that are going to be giving a presentation. You remember that the state of Israel sent a spaceship called Bereshit 5 or 6 years ago. So one of the top guys that worked on that, he's going to give a presentation on how Eretz Yisroel is contributing in their intelligence and technology to the world. And also Mr. Alush, who lives here in Rechavia, he, for many years in South Africa, he developed he contributed to developing the warplanes for Israel in South Africa, and the Rebbe gave him a lot of instructions on how to do it. So this is going to be a fascinating event. You're welcome to join us. B'ezrat Hashem, the advertisement will be out soon. So Daraba, it's going to be soon. B'vakasha, we want to ask Shoshana, please say a few words about Chaya. Unfortunately, Chaya Cohen, her Levaya is happening right now, and we dedicate also memory of Chaya Bat. I'm sorry, I don't recall. Remember the couple. That's right. Freed of a couple.
I called Arab about 9 years ago, and I met her very soon after that. I was sitting at a Friday night dinner, Saturday night was Pesach. So we met them, we've been friends now for 9 years. We ended up living in the same building. They were very good friends of mine. Unfortunately, I got a patient. And today her I miss her.
Yisroel Tovot and Neshama should have an Aliyah. Yeshua Koach, Todah. The development is thanks to Mordechai and Raya.